Hello and welcome to our first Q&A session. With me is James. Say hi, James.
Hello, John.
Hello, and my name is John, or Jonathan, if you want to use my full name, actually, because that is actually my full name. Today we're going to be going through questions sent into us both via YouTube and via FacePunch. So I think we should probably get started. Are you ready to answer some questions, James?
Yes.
Marvelous. That is good to
Stop.
hear.
Oh dear.
Okay, our first question comes from Kazumi from FacePunch, who actually has 5 questions, which is insanely greedy. Okay, first question: who came up with the idea?
That was actually, a few years ago, I was talking to a friend named Josh about what his favorite idea for a game was, like his dream idea. And he said something along these lines of having like a ship filled with like a group of friends, all doing different jobs, all trying to control different aspects of it, like battling various other ships and any events they encounter and stuff, working together as a team. And then I forgot about that. And then a few years later, which was actually like last year, I was talking to another guy called Alex. I guess we'll go with Alex. Um, and he basically suggested that I make Space Station 13 in Gary's mod. And I thought, well, that's going to be a bit difficult, so I might as well just go with something a bit simpler like FTL. But
Yeah.
then that reminded me of Josh's idea of having.
Mm. I think the thing is, obviously, so they were sort of the origins of prompting this project to start. But I think it's something that like has been thought of. I mean, a lot of people, but also judging by the response we've got, have thought it's a good idea and have wanted it to happen for a while now. So yeah, thank you.
Kazumi!
Next question. Um,
Kazumi of the country Face Punch.
yep. Okay. Because is that because I said
Yeah,
from Face Punch?
in the town or whatever.
Okay, Kazumi from Japan has had another question. Which one of which one of you is the laziest when it comes to working on the project? I
Well,
I would. It's difficult to answer, but well, if we're counting like the person who takes the longest to get round to something, I would definitely say me. I mean that might have something to do with having a job, um, and like yeah, a job that I do a lot, mainly every day of the week. So I guess you could count that as me being lazy.
yeah. Also, like, I did start it like a year ago, and then not working it for several months. Yeah, so it has been going a bit slowly, but I'm hoping to speed up, but then also slow down again because I've just got a job.
Yeah. So
Which
we're,
will be
we're now we're now both employed, which is disastrous because before at least you could be working on it while I was at work, but now now
although
it's
my job is very lax, and I can afford to spend a lot of time programming, hopefully.
you got to hope that people you work for don't watch this. Anyway, I think that leads nicely onto the third question from him. Or her, actually, I've no idea whether that's a girl's or boy's name. How
Just from
has
the
this
internet, assume it's a guy.
Yes, true. How has this sudden surge of internet fame affected you personally or the way you work on Final Frontier? So I guess I don't know. I guess motivation wise for the project, I found it like sort of I don't know more I don't know more up for working on it. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
like yeah, a lot more motivation. Also, a lot more sort of you're worrying about how a lot of people are viewing this and what they're anticipating, what you're actually going to be able to do. So there's that too. But I guess overall it's positive.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the biggest thing. So whereas before it was kind of we'd be working on, and it still very much is for fun, but I think it's really interesting having that sort of support as well as sort of ideas flooding in, and also seeing what sort of people, because obviously we've got a game plan for how we want it to turn out, but it's also interesting seeing what people sort of expect and imagine because so much of it that they don't know about that we've already discussed is sort of up for debate and they people we've seen people come up with really interesting things, so it's kind of we're sort of a few ideas we are incorporating from sort of the community that's developed. So yeah, thank you very much for your suggestions. If you're writing suggestions in the comments, cheers. um, anyway, number 4, any weird ideas you've scrapped because they were too stupid?
Um, yeah, usually it's because they're too way too difficult to be able to do
Yeah.
in Guys Mod at least. Like there's tons of ideas we have that we're hoping to be able to do in a standalone if we get that far. But a lot of it's just because Garage Mod is so restrictive
Yeah,
in terms of
definitely. Yeah.
Like because like the world has to be static. You can't because all the map and stuff is pre-compiled. You can't generate ships and things like that.
Yeah, so I think that's sort of a big thing, isn't it? It's not necessarily like weird ideas we've scrapped. There are a lot of things that I guess you could say were quirky that we want to end up doing, because we think it would, this after all is kind of a sort of a parody, quote unquote. It's more of, homage to sort of the space, sort of space era sort of TV shows and stuff, I guess. But you know, there are a lot of limitations, like James was saying, and there's a lots that we'd love to do. So if we do get the chance to do a standalone game, we'd love to include them. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Sort of all those wacky sort of futuristic things that'd be good to have in, but fortunately we can't quite pull that off yet. Number five, Star Wars, Star Trek, or Stargate.
Well, I've only ever seen one of them, and that's Star Trek. So I'm gonna have to answer that. But I can't imagine the other two being better.
Right, okay.
So
Well, I don't know. I have seen Star Trek, but I've never, like, I know you committed to watching all the
all
old series.
TNG.
Yeah, like you love it.
Mm.
I don't know. I do like Star Wars. Sort of standards. Kind of. Oh yeah, the earlier movies, not the later ones. But yeah, pretty much, I like Star Trek. Never seen much of Stargate though, to be honest.
No, me neither. Well, at all. Right, next, Cokehead, also from the sovereign nation of Face Punch.
Hmm.
Us. Will users be able to create map layouts and submit them to either to you guys or server admins to add as playable ships?
Sort of, yeah, I guess. They'll definitely be able to create maps, well, map layouts, I guess, but they won't necessarily need it to submit it to us. It's up to sort of people running the servers what map they roll out. Do you want to go? Yeah, I guess you can go into a bit of detail really about how ships are done in the game mode.
Sure, yeah. So, as I said, like the environment in the game is pre-compiled. That doesn't mean that you can't have ships moving around in space, but it means that you can't have the layouts of ships changing, without restarting a server or re-downloading a new map. But what we're planning to do, hopefully, is make like a basic map creation tool, or ship creation tool, so you can design the ship layout in a similar way to Alien Swarm, like in the Alien Swarm tile-based editor. And then maybe like if you're a server owner, you could build tons of new ships in there, or like I don't know, something like
Definitely, it would be really good to have, because although we really, it's you could go into Hammer and create all your your map from scratch if you want to, completely new ships. But it'd also be quite nice to make it, really open it up to anyone who wanted to make it. So by including that tile-based editor, it would be, I think it would really sort of bring out, creative like layouts and stuff that people could then take on and make into sort of more fully fledged maps. So yeah, I think that suffices.
that. Yep. Right. Next question is
Uh,
from Hog of War.
it is.
I'm struggling a bit at the moment. Will there be an option of being complete player versus enemy on small servers? Just avoiding the desk. Oh God. Um,
I told you not to get that like mod, didn't I?
yeah, it's all
Like we were
backfiring now.
right, okay, we were in the store, right, and we were like looking for office chairs for this,
Jesus.
because we've got a bit of a budget now, and
It
like
said it was adjustable in 6 degrees of movement. I
yeah,
didn't
and
quite believe it, but
I was like, oh no, two's. I said to the guy,
that's a
oh
nice view.
no, two's fine for me. Looks like your chair's got a bit of a rectum there.
Right, I'm coming back round.
Yeah, and the guy was like, oh, do you want do you want six or do you just want two? And I've gone for two. And James, oh, I'll have six. Six is a higher number than two. And I was like, yeah, but you do realize that's gonna be like, really pretty annoying. Oh no, I'll be fine. How you doing?
Uh, I'm okay. I'm trying to go forwards. There's not much control here. We should probably get back to the questions, and I'll just try and struggle with my chair as we're going along. So, okay. So Hogwarts asks, will there be an option of complete player versus enemies on small servers?
Okay. Do you wanna take a run with this, or shall I take this?
I can take it. If I
Okay.
can,
Can you multitask?
I can. I'll try and keep my lunch in as well.
Okay.
So yeah, like at the moment, it's going to be completely open. If you want to do, if you want to fight,
James, please.
hello. If you want to fight other players, you can. But we also want it possible for players to like different ships to cooperate and just fight against like automated AI ships. So it will be like player versus enemy. and we might have it so servers can specify that they're always going to be PvE.
Yeah.
If you don't want players, if players are uncomfortable with fighting each other. Um,
Yeah, we think the best way is to sort of, if we have in mind for this game mode a really open sort of set that will allow you to do kind of all in one world PvE, PvP as well. Sort of, that's what our sort of official game mode will be. But just have settings that people can change, so you will get servers that are just PvE, and or servers that are like really sort of focused PvP as well. Just sort of just so that people can like pick which gameplay they really adjust to the best, and they can just play that the whole time and find a server they like. I think the real main focus is designing something that can really have a community, because that's something we've always enjoyed, and something that we feel lacks from a lot of games. So we can really create a game that will allow servers to actually become really strong communities. Then that'd be great.
that would. Next question is from Shadow Knight X,
Hmm.
from Facepunch. There's a theme here. He's actually got two. Will there be fighter class mini ships that the main mothership will be able to deploy? So that's actually a nice idea, but we'd like to think that it's something we'd do in the standalone version. But I think that's a bit too complex for the Garry's Mod one.
Definitely.
But like things like that'd involve docking ships, which is something we can't easily do in Garry's Mod.
Yeah.
There's probably a way, but it'd be a lot of effort.
and
If we
and
do try and do something like that, we'd probably do it at the end.
And
Rather than
also,
start.
if we put it in, it would be nice for things like that to, that really works with the idea of having such a massive sort of more, role play sort of world that we just don't think we can fulfill in Gary's mod. So adding a feature like that, that would complement that kind of world when that what kind of world might not exist fully in the Gary's mod version is. Wouldn't be ideal. So I think for now, for the Gary's mod version, no, but for standalone, yes, I think is. So we'll go with that. Are you gonna come back on screen?
I might go off here. Here seems quite interesting.
Could you get some
Oh,
milk?
here we go.
Oh, fine.
Um, sorry, the fridge is
Don't.
a bit too far away. I don't have enough control for that.
All right. Okay.
And hello,
Just
floor.
okay. Good. Right. Okay. Let's take his second question. Will he be able to travel into other planets? And then the second part of that is, will it be able to burn up in the atmosphere? And if so, and blow up, die, crash slash land. Um,
Again, standalone if we get to that far. But
Pretty
like, I
much.
think the Ghost Mod one will be mainly focusing on ship versus ship stuff
Yes.
and
It will be
interstellar based things.
definitely. You'd be sort of going through sort of but it will mainly be about keeping your ship running, communicating together, and sort of going on a voyage through the universe, and having all those sort of brilliant sort of player generated interactions, really, with I guess in this mode at least, without having that sort of planet interaction stuff. But definitely something for standalone. We'd love to be able to sort of take it down to planet level, and do lots of stuff like that. It would be pretty awesome.
It's pretty close there. Um,
Mm.
Zombie Fox, face punch again. Shit. What kind of weapons will be used for ship defense, and where would they be acquired? And these are like handheld weapons and stuff he's referring to.
Not and specifically not the giant spaceship laser cannons.
But we're doing them as well.
Yes, definitely. They're being worked on right now. Okay.
Yes.
Well, from what we've discussed, really, we don't want it to be a game dominated by, just being about ability to aim. It's more about sort of, gunfights will be more a strategic point than anything. So, it's really once you've battered another ship and you're able to get on board using the transporter once you've knocked out the shields. So we're probably not going to have a huge variety of guns. If not, we'll probably only have one gun. Would you say, James?
Yeah, like we'll probably just limit it to maybe two or three where they're very different. They have their own strategic uses and things like that. An idea that is also like toying with is having weapons not be targeted based on where you're looking, but like be able to specify a target and it'll just automatically be able to hit that target. So auto aiming essentially.
Yeah, basically, really to take away that kind of we don't. This game mode isn't about it's not just about having just another shooter that
Yeah, it's not a
is
Twitch shooter. It's about more like strategy and
yeah.
cooperation,
It's
things
it's
like that.
more about when you go across to the other ship.
Synergy.
Brilliant. It's about when you go across the other ship, not sort of just how good you are at shooting enemy players. Really, because we want it to be that if you make the mistake of going across too early, it's just you're not going to be able to pull it off, no matter how good you are at shooting. Okay. Would you say you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, totally.